Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The act of judging or assessing a person or situation or event. The classification of someone or something with respect to its worth. An amount determined as payable. The assessment for repairs outraged the club's membership. The market value set on assets. The act of judging or assessing a person or situation or event. The capacity to assess situations or circumstances shrewdly and to draw sound conclusions. The cognitive process of reaching a decision or drawing conclusions. The legal document stating the reasons for a judicial decision. The mental ability to understand and discriminate between relations. Law, the determination by a court of competent jurisdiction on matters submitted to it. An opinion formed by judging something. The act of judging or assessing a person or situation or event. They criticized my judgment of the contestants. The capacity to assess situations or circumstances shrewdly and to draw sound conclusions. The cognitive process of reaching a decision or drawing conclusions. The legal document stating the reasons for a judicial decision. The mental ability to understand and discriminate between relations. Law, the determination by a court of competent jurisdiction on matters submitted to it. An opinion formed by judging something. He was reluctant to make his judgment known. A document appraising the value of something, as for insurance or taxation. The classification of someone or something with respect to its worth. An expert estimation of the quality, quantity, and other characteristics of someone or something. Something that people do or cause to happen. A legal document signed and sealed and delivered to effect a transfer of property and to show the legal right to possess it. He signed the deed. Pretend to have certain qualities or state of mind. He acted the idiot. Behave unnaturally or affectedly. She's just acting. Something that people do or cause to happen. A legal document codifying the result of deliberations of a committee or society or legislative body. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. Think before you act. A short performance that is part of a longer program. He did his act 3 times every evening. Perform on a stage or theater. She acts in this play. Have an effect or outcome, often the one desired or expected. How does your idea work in practice? Behave in a certain manner. Show a certain behavior. Conduct or comport oneself. You should act like an adult. Play a role or part. She wants to act Lady Macbeth, but she is too young for the role. A manifestation of insincerity. He put on quite an act for her benefit. A subdivision of a play or opera or ballet. Be engaged in an activity, often for no particular purpose other than pleasure. Be suitable for theatrical performance. This scene acts well. Discharge one's duties. She acts as the chair. Something that people do or cause to happen. Something that people do or cause to happen. An operation that segregates items into groups according to a specified criterion. The bottleneck in mail delivery is the process of sorting. The basic cognitive process of arranging into classes or categories. Grouping by class or kind or size. The act of distributing things into classes or categories of the same type. A group of people or things arranged by class or category. The basic cognitive process of arranging into classes or categories. The act of distributing things into classes or categories of the same type. A group of people or things arranged by class or category. The basic cognitive process of arranging into classes or categories. Restriction imposed by the government on documents or weapons that are available only to certain authorized people. The act of distributing things into classes or categories of the same type. A group of people or things arranged by class or category. The basic cognitive process of arranging into classes or categories. Criminal law. A pleading describing some wrong or offense. He was arrested on a charge of larceny. Move quickly and violently. A quantity of explosive to be set off at one time. This cartridge has a powder charge of 50 grains. The quantity of unbalanced electricity in a body, either positive or negative, and construed as an excess or deficiency of electrons. The battery needed a fresh charge. Cause to be agitated, excited, or roused. The speaker charged up the crowd with his inflammatory remarks. Psychoanalysis. The libidinal energy invested in some idea or person or object. Freud thought of cathexis as a psychic analog of an electrical charge. Demand payment. Will I get charged for this service? Direct into a position for use. He charged his weapon at me. Blame for. Make a claim of wrongdoing or misbehavior against. He charged the director with indifference. Request for payment of a debt. They submitted their charges at the end of each month. Cause to be admitted. Of persons to an institution. File a formal charge against. The suspect was charged with murdering his wife. To make a rush at or sudden attack upon, as in battle. Give over to another for care or safekeeping. Provide, a device, with something necessary. Attention and management implying responsibility for safety. A special assignment that is given to a person or group. His charge was deliver a message. Heraldry consisting of a design or image depicted on a shield. A formal statement of a command or injunction to do something. The judge's charge to the jury. Attribute responsibility to. The tragedy was charged to her inexperience. An assertion that someone is guilty of a fault or offense. The newspaper published charges that Jones was guilty of drunken driving. The swift release of a store of effective force. Impose a task upon, assign a responsibility to. He charged her with cleaning up all the files over the weekend. Assign a duty, responsibility or obligation to. She was charged with supervising the creation of a concordance. An impetuous rush toward someone or something. The wrestler's charge carried him past his adversary. A person committed to your care. The teacher led her charges across the street. Cause formation of a net electrical charge in or on. Charge a conductor. Energize a battery by passing a current through it in the direction opposite to discharge. I need to charge my car battery. Enter a certain amount as a charge. He charged me $15. Fill or load to capacity. Charge the wagon with hay. Financial liabilities, such as a tax. The charges against the estate. Instruct a jury about the law, its application, and the weighing of evidence. Instruct or command with authority. The teacher charged the children to memorize the poem. Lie down on command, of hunting dogs. Make an accusatory claim. The defense attorney charged that the jurors were biased. Pay with a credit card. Pay with plastic money. Postpone payment by recording a purchase as a debt. Will you pay cash or charge the purchase? Place a heraldic bearing on. Charge all weapons, shields, and banners. Saturate. The room was charged with tension and anxiety. Set or ask for a certain price. How much do you charge for lunch? The price charged for some article or service. The admission charge. Value measured by what must be given or done or undergone to obtain something. The price of success is hard work. The property of having material worth, often indicated by the amount of money something would bring if sold. He puts a high price on his services. United States operatic soprano, born 1927. The amount of money needed to purchase something. The price of gasoline. A monetary reward for helping to catch a criminal. The cattle thief has a price on his head. Ascertain or learn the price of. Have you priced personal computers lately? Cost of bribing someone. They say that every politician has a price. Determine the price of. The grocer priced his wares high. The high value or worth of something. Her price is far above rubies. Be priced at. These shoes cost $100. Value measured by what must be given or done or undergone to obtain something. The cost in human life was enormous. The property of having material worth, often indicated by the amount of money something would bring if sold. He couldn't calculate the cost of the collection. Require to lose, suffer, or sacrifice. This mistake cost him his job. The total spent for goods or services including money and time and labor. The property of having material worth, often indicated by the amount of money something would bring if sold. The fluctuating monetary value of gold and silver. An assessment that reveals more about the values of the person making the assessment than about the reality of what is assessed. The final judgment in a legal proceeding. The act of pronouncing judgment based on the evidence presented. An inclination to withhold approval from some person or group. A feeling of disliking something or what someone is doing. The act of disapproving or condemning. The expression of disapproval. Judge to be probable. An approximate calculation of quantity or degree or worth. An estimate of what it would cost. Judge tentatively or form an estimate of quantities or time. I estimate this chicken to weigh 3 pounds. A judgment of the qualities of something or somebody. Many factors are involved in any estimate of human life. The respect with which a person is held. A document appraising the value of something, as for insurance or taxation. A statement indicating the likely cost of some job. He got an estimate from the car repair shop. An approximate calculation of quantity or degree or worth. A judgment of the qualities of something or somebody. In my estimation, the boy is innocent. The respect with which a person is held. They had a high estimation of his ability. A document appraising the value of something, as for insurance or taxation. Act of ascertaining or fixing the value or worth of. An appraisal of the value of something. The quality of being just or fair. The United States federal department responsible for enforcing federal laws, including the enforcement of all civil rights legislation, created in 1870. A public official authorized to decide questions brought before a court of justice. Judgment involved in the determination of rights and the assignment of rewards and punishments. A judgment of the logistic support required for some particular military operation. Act of ascertaining or fixing the value or worth of. Rank in a military organization. An appraisal of the value of something. Standing or position on a scale. An assessment that reveals more about the values of the person making the assessment than about the reality of what is assessed. An appraisal of the value of something. He set a high valuation on friendship. Assessed price. The valuation of this property is much too high. A rigorous or crucial appraisal. A new appraisal or evaluation. A new appraisal or evaluation. An appraisal of the state of affairs. A check on its dependability under stress. Be verified or confirmed. Pass inspection. These stories don't check. Make cracks or chinks in. The heat checked the paint. A mark left after a small piece has been chopped or broken off of something. Examine so as to determine accuracy, quality, or condition. Check the brakes. Develop a child's or animal's behavior by instruction and practice, especially to teach self-control. Become fractured. Break or crack on the surface only. Lessen the intensity of. Temper. Hold in restraint. Hold or keep within limits. The state of inactivity following an interruption. Held them in check. Find out, learn, or determine with certainty, usually by making an inquiry or other effort. Slow the growth or development of. A written order directing a bank to pay money. He paid all his bills by check. Be careful or certain to do something. Make certain of something. Mark into squares or draw squares on. Draw crossed lines on. Additional proof that something that was believed, some fact or hypothesis or theory, is correct. A mark indicating that something has been noted or completed, etc. As he called the roll, he put a check mark by each student's name. The act of inspecting or verifying. They made a check of their equipment. Something immaterial that interferes with or delays action or progress. The bill in a restaurant. He asked the waiter for the check. put a check mark on or near or next to. Please check each name on the list. Be compatible, similar or consistent, coincide in their characteristics. The handwriting checks with the signature on the check. Hold back, as of a danger or an enemy. Check the expansion or influence of. The act of restraining power or action or limiting excess. Abandon the intended prey, turn, and pursue an inferior prey. Arrest the motion of something abruptly. He checked the flow of water by shutting off the main valve. A textile pattern of squares or crossed lines, resembling a checkerboard. She wore a skirt with checks. Block or impede, a player from the opposing team, in ice hockey. Chess, a direct attack on an opponent's king. Consign for shipment on a vehicle. Check your luggage before boarding. Decline to initiate betting. Hand over something to somebody as for temporary safekeeping. Make an examination or investigation. Check into the rumor. Obstructing an opponent in ice hockey. Place into check. He checked my kings. Stop for a moment, as if out of uncertainty or caution. She checked for an instant and missed a step. Stop in a chase, especially when scent is lost. The dog checked. Verify by consulting a source or authority. Check the spelling of this word. Write out a check on a bank account.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.